The sun was setting over the quiet streets of my suburban neighborhood, casting a golden glow over the tidy lawns and white picket fences. Life had settled into a predictable rhythm since my husband Matthew passed away 5 years ago. My days were filled with gardening, reading, and the occasional visit from friends. I valued the peace, though, if I were honest, the solitude often felt more like loneliness. It was on one of those still, golden afternoons that my doorbell rang, shattering the quiet. I opened the door to find Evan, my next-door neighbor, standing there. His face was etched with a mix of nervousness and determination, his hands fidgeting at his sides. Evan was in his early 40s, a man with kind eyes and a calm presence. Over the years, we had exchanged pleasantries about the weather and our shared love of gardening, but we had never moved beyond the surface. Seeing him at my door, unannounced, was unexpected. "Hi, Claire," he began, his voice steady but quiet. "I hope I'm not disturbing you." "Not at all," I replied, stepping aside. "Come in. What brings you here?" He hesitated for a moment before stepping into the house. His gaze darted toward the floor as if searching for the right words. When he finally looked up, his expression had shifted, a mix of vulnerability and urgency that made my heart ache. "I need your help," he said, running a hand through his dark hair. "It's something personal." I guided him to the living room, curiosity bubbling inside me. "Of course, Evan. What's on your mind?" He sat on the edge of the couch, his hands clasped tightly together. After a deep breath, he began to speak. "It's about my sister, Lyla," he said. "She's been going through a really tough time. Her divorce has left her completely lost. She needs someone to talk to. Someone who's been through hard times and come out stronger. And I thought of you." His words caught me off guard. I wasn't sure what I had expected him to say, but it certainly wasn't this. "You think I could help?" I asked, unsure of myself. "Yes," he said firmly. "You've handled so much with grace. I think she could really benefit from spending time with someone like you." I hesitated, the weight of his request settling over me, but the earnestness in his eyes convinced me. "I'd be happy to meet her," I said finally. "If you think I can make a difference, I'll do my best." The relief that washed over his face was immediate. "Thank you, Claire. It means more than I can say." Over the next few days, Evan and I planned for Lyla's visit. In the meantime, he began stopping by more often. At first, it was to discuss details about his sister, but soon, our conversations drifted to other topics. He told me about his childhood, his work, and his love of music. I found myself looking forward to his visits in a way I hadn't felt in years. One evening, as we sat on my porch, sipping lemonade and watching the sun dip below the horizon, Evan looked at me with an intensity that made my heart skip a beat. "Claire," he said softly, "I never expected this favor to bring us closer. But it's been nice, hasn't it?" I nodded, unsure of how to respond. There was something unspoken between us, a warmth that hadn't been there before. When Lyla finally arrived, she was quiet and withdrawn. Her eyes carried the weight of sorrow, her movements hesitant. But as we sat together in my living room, sharing stories of resilience and hope, I saw her begin to open up. By the time she left that afternoon, her smile was tentative but genuine. Evan's gratitude was overwhelming. When he came by to check on Lyla, he hugged me tightly, lingering just a moment longer than necessary. "Thank you, Claire," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You've done more for her than I ever could have imagined, and you've done something for me, too." That evening, as we shared a quiet dinner in my dining room, Evan opened up in a way he never had before. He confessed that his visits hadn't been just about Lyla. They had been about the connection he felt with me. "I never thought I'd feel this way again," he admitted, his eyes searching mine. "But you've reminded me that it's never too late to find happiness." I was stunned. As I looked into his eyes, I realized I felt the same. The moments we'd shared, the laughter, the quiet conversations, had awakened something in me I thought was long gone. That night, under the soft glow of my dining room chandelier, we shared our first kiss. It was tender and hesitant, carrying the promise of something beautiful. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Evan and I began exploring this new chapter of our lives, balancing the excitement of our budding relationship with the complexities of our pasts. It wasn't always easy, but it was worth every moment. Lyla continued to thrive, her confidence growing with each visit. She became a friend, someone I could share my own struggles with. And through it all, Evan and I grew closer, building something neither of us had expected. One evening, as we sat together on the porch, Evan took my hand. "Claire," he said, his voice steady, "you've changed my life in ways I can't even explain. Thank you for taking a chance on me. On us." Tears welled in my eyes as I squeezed his hand. "You've changed mine, too," I whispered. Looking back, I realized that the favor Evan asked of me wasn't just about helping his sister. It was about helping both of us find the courage to embrace the possibility of love again. And in doing so, we discovered that sometimes the most unexpected requests can lead to the most extraordinary journeys.